And welcome to the Raw.
No, he still get his ass whooped. He just positively, I'm gonna do this. What's real life situation? Get your ass handed. He's just, oh, I got to go now. Nah, fuck that. Get out of here.
It's another one of those that you're pretty sure is tucking something away by the end of the day. I mean, the woman, she makes Mark Henry look little.
Want good news, and if you want good reviews, you come here to It's All a Work. Yeah. Snap into a podcast. That's right. Snap into a podcast. Hello. It is me, your boy, Big T, and this is Wrestling Weekly. This is the show where we go over all the good things that have happened on Raw, NXT, Speed, SmackDown, and a PLE if applicable. And then, starting today, as we were not able to do it last week, we go over some news that has happened in the wrestling world, mainly WWE, this week. Now, we are going to go ahead and start off hot with WWE Raw. So, on Raw, we had the War Raiders versus Judgment Day in Dominic Mysterio and JD McDonough. JD McDonough injuring himself during that match. He actually broke 2 ribs and he punctured a lung. If you believe all of the reports that came out, it could be a work, but man, I'm telling you, go back and watch that move. When he did that moonsault onto Eric, the way his head snapped and the way he landed, I'm telling you, my man is actually injured. I do not think that one is a work. We're going to go ahead and move on to Rey Mysterio versus Xavier Woods. Now, this match is coming off of the back of Rey Mysterio versus Kofi Kingston. Xavier Woods still going to open his mouth, still going to have some issues with Rey, so they wanted to resolve that. And basically, Rey Mysterio is going to shut Xavier Woods up, and Xavier Woods' family going to be at ringside, and they don't really believe in Xavier Woods anymore, to put it lightly. With all of them wearing the New Day Sucks shirt. We're going to go ahead and move to Naomi and Bianca Belair versus Liv and Raquel Rodriguez. Now, this was not a title match. I actually tweeted Adam Pearce, did not tweet me back. No hard feelings. But you're going to see Liv and Raquel win this match. Obviously, they don't win it exactly clean, but it is via a roll-up, and you would have to imagine that we're probably going to see a title match between these two down the line. And then we're going to move into Sami versus Drew McIntyre. Sami Zayn is going through this story right now in WWE of, does he believe in himself, or does he want to help his other friends win more? They're building this whole story with Karrion Kross. They're building this whole story with Drew and all of these kinds of different elements. Either way, the only thing to know about this night, about Raw, is that Drew came out on top. Now, the caveat here is that Drew had to basically roll. I mean, it wasn't a roll up. It was a dirty tactic to pin Sami. He had to kind of smush him down in the corner there a little bit, pin his feet up. If I'm not mistaken, he either used the ropes or the tights. I can't remember which, but it wasn't a fully clean win. He did not hit the Claymore. It looked like Sami was honestly going on track to win, and if Drew hadn't done what he did, we may have seen Sami Zayn actually beat Drew McIntyre for the first time. But on this night, it was not meant to be. Now, that was your WWE Raw, so we're going to run over to WWE SmackDown, or WWE NXT, not SmackDown, we'll get there. But we're going to do Bailey and Giulia, I believe is how you pronounce her name, versus Cora Jade and Roxanne Perez, with Bailey and Giulia picking up the victory. And then we're going to move on to Wesley versus Trick Williams, and Wesley is going to pick up your win via disqualification. We're going to have Fallon Henley versus Shotzi, and we're going to have Fallon take that W there. We're going to go on to Ethan Page versus Cedric Alexander, with Ethan picking up that victory. And then our WWE Women's Tag Titles match, where we see Bianca Belair and Naomi go against Jakara Jackson and Lash Legend. And I will say, Jakara Jackson, Lash Legend, future WWE Women Tag Team champions, definitely future champions outside of the tag team division, whether it be Intercontinental, United States, Speed, or even the top spiel of WWE Undisputed or World Women's Championship. They're definitely going to get up there at some point, but tonight was not their night. Bianca Belair and Naomi retaining their titles on NXT. And that is going to move us down to WWE Speed. Now, a lot of people don't keep up with this, all right? A lot of people don't keep up with Speed, but I'm telling you, it's fantastic. If you can find it on WWE's page, it's not exactly fully organized. I mean, the title match that I'm about to talk about did not happen when I would have expected it to happen, right? It happened on Saturday when it should have happened on Wednesday. However, Chad Gable will defeat Chris Sabin to become the number one contender for the WWE Speed title, which means he got a shot at Dragon Lee. Now, this happened on Wednesday. Now, as I said yesterday, which was Saturday the 1st, they decided to go ahead and do that match on Speed, and we had Dragon Lee versus Chad Gable, and Dragon Lee came out on top. Now, we don't do official reviews on these shows, so I'm going to go ahead and do it now. Chad Gable should have won, in my opinion. Chad Gable was working the story where he has problems with luchadors. He was working the problem where in the Royal Rumble, he had a whole spot where he was going against Rey Mysterio, he was going against Penta, he was going against Andrade, he was going against Carmelo Hayes. Now, while Carmelo Hayes is not a luchador in and of himself, he does luchador-esque moves. He moves like a luchador. Chad Gable has been building this story, and he wants to win a title this year. So he built this whole thing for no payoff. Now, I really do hope that Chad Gable wins a title this year in 2025, but on this night with Dragon Lee, it was not meant to be. So that's going to be your Speed coverage for this week. The WWE Women's Speed title tournament starts. That will start on Wednesday. As soon as I can find that bracket, I will put that bracket up for you on our Twitter page. Please go ahead and give us a follow on Twitter. I will put the link to that Twitter down below. Same with Facebook. We do post assorted things on there from time to time. Now, this is going to bring us to WWE SmackDown. So, SmackDown is match heavy. So it has seemed that if you want more content heavy, you're going to Raw. If you want more wrestling and match heavy, you're going to SmackDown. And then there's obviously other things in between. But very, very match heavy on SmackDown. We had 6 matches on this night. Let's go ahead and go through them. We had Jimmy Uso versus Carmelo Hayes. Carmelo Hayes is just unable to keep his mouth shut. He is just unable to stop attacking people from behind. For crying out loud. First it was Jimmy, then it was Tozawa at the Royal Rumble last night. The man is angry. And then it was Cody Rhodes. It was Cody Rhodes at the end of SmackDown as well. He blindsided Cody Rhodes. This is becoming his thing. Either way, Jimmy Uso is going to win this match in a very hard-fought match. I will say I really wish that Carmelo would have won this, but it is what it is. Jimmy, the better man on this night. And then moving on to the United States Women's Championship, Michin versus Chelsea Green. Chelsea Green is actually going to win. Actually, I take it back. She retained her title, but Michin is going to win via disqualification. Now, the interesting thing here is they were billing this as the last time. Michin said, I get one last shot at you next week, but Chelsea Green cheated to retain her title. So Michin gets the win. Chelsea Green gets to keep her title. So I think that this feud is far from over, and I think that we are going to see more out of these two in the future. But moving on from there, we have the 8-man tag match. Now, this had a lot of high-flying, hard-hitting action throughout the entire thing, but what you really need to know is Los Garza walks out of the match midway through the match. At the very, very end of the match, Pretty Deadly refuses to take the tag from Tommaso Ciampa, which leads to Motor City Machine Gun Chris Sabin getting the pin and beating Tommaso Ciampa in this 8-man tag. Los Garza, Pretty Deadly, obviously their story's going to be intertwined here moving forward, but it was not the night for Tommaso Ciampa, Johnny Gargano, Elton Prince, and Kit Wilson. However, as we will talk about in a second, Tommaso Ciampa, Johnny Gargano, DIY get the last laugh. Moving on to Naomi versus Liv Morgan. Honestly, I talked about this in our review. I felt it was a boring match, but Naomi was the better woman this night, taking the dub. Moving on to Miz and Andrade, a match made earlier in the day where Miz was upset because Andrade would not accept his friendship. He would not accept his mentorship in saying, hey, I can get you to the next level. You just need someone to help you. Well, he said he wanted to punch Andrade in the face. Just so happens Andrade was around to hear it and said, hey, if you want to punch me in the face, come do it in the ring. And Miz did that. However, Andrade was the one to get the win on this night. And then we end up with our main event, our impromptu main event off of Damian doing a random promo in the night and Jacob Fatu wanting to get in Damian's face because they're both from the streets. They both had to claw their way up and they're both very successful. And obviously, you know, LA Knight has to come out and make the save and has to make his voice heard because he is in a feud with Jacob and Tama. This is how you get this tag team match. Well, as it would turn out, Damian and LA Knight are going to get the win. However, Jacob Fatu will get the last laugh doing his patented moonsault on Damian Priest at the end of the match. Tama Tonga taking the South of Heaven, getting that choke slam, and getting pinned. Like I said before Damian gets involved in the match. Now, the moment that we've all been waiting for. There will be a review show later on tonight where we will be live. And if you're checking this out after the 2nd of February, the live show will be up in our live section on our podcast section in our YouTube. Please check it out. But we have the Royal Rumble. Boom, right there. Sorry, it didn't come up immediately, but Charlotte Flair wins the Royal Rumble, coming out at number 27 and proving why she is the queen. She came back out, honestly, very, very predictable. Everybody knew this was going to happen, but the Royal Rumble, fantastic. I think it was the better of the two, and I will talk about that. I will talk about why during the review show, but Charlotte Flair wins your Royal Rumble match. As I was talking about earlier, DIY had the last laugh in winning the titles in the 2 out of 3 falls match, but they had some help from the Street Profits making their anticipated return and now inserting themselves back into the tag team championships. And look at those titles right there. Those titles look very, very good on the Street Profits, if I do say so myself. We're going to go ahead and move on to Cody Rhodes versus Kevin Owens for the WWE Undisputed Championship and the Winged Eagle belt. in a ladder match. This match was hard-hitting. It was fast-paced. Sami Zayn came out and he was dressed in black, but he didn't actually fully get involved except for to seemingly support Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes both, since he's friends to both of them. Very interesting, odd situation, and I really want to see how that plays out on Raw. However, nevertheless, Cody Rhodes going to be victorious this night after hitting an Alabama slam off of the announcer's table through a ladder, as you're seeing depicted right here. Cody ascends the ladder to grab the titles and remain and still your WWE undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, which is going to take us to the shock of the night. Jey Uso winning the men's Royal Rumble. It was down to Jey Uso and John Cena. Everyone expected Cena to win except for me. I did not expect Cena to win. Honestly, until we got to the bottom two, I was rooting for CM Punk. But either way, John Cena gets pushed off of the apron, shockingly, for Jey Uso to take the victory. Jey Uso screaming Gunther's name after the match. However, he said in the after show press conference that maybe he is going to look at Cody. You never really know which way he's going to go. So that happens with that. And now we are going to get into your news. Yeet. Let's do it. So WWE is discussing Asuka's return via Fightful. All of these links for these different news stories will be down below if you want to check it out and learn more. Asuka's return is coming. There is no report of her being on in the Performance Center. However, they were pitching ideas. Apparently, this has been reported. Asuka, speaking of her, has been posting about having about fans not. Asuka has been posting about not wanting her fans to have feelings for her, as it is pointless and that she feels unsafe. So the speculation of this is, I'm assuming she has a stalker. The police are apparently involved. Fans, look, we need to be better as a community, all right? These women in wrestling, they're beautiful. They're amazing. They talk good smack. They're in shape, all right? They have bigger, larger-than-life personalities. Here's the thing. They're people. They're no different than me. They're no different than our moms, our sisters, our very close friends who are women. We need to stop this and as this is assuming that this is a male doing the stalking, but as a community of males, we need to stop doing this. This is ridiculous. All right? Stop messaging these women and saying, I love you so much. We should be together, blah, 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 blah. This is unacceptable, and it has to stop. As a male, I'm holding you other males accountable. Stop doing this. Be better. Go touch some grass. Go work out. Get your eating habits in straight. Whatever's causing this mental dysfunction, fix it. Stop it. Move on. These women need to feel safe in wrestling so they can compete at the highest level. And when they have these kind of things on their mind, it stops them from doing so. So again, very clearly, very plainly, stop doing it. Stop fucking around. All right, moving on. Jordynne Grace. Obviously, if you watched the Royal Rumble last night, you will know that Jordynne Grace was in the Royal Rumble. Absolutely fantastic. She has officially signed, and this is coming from Fightful Select, she signed a multi-year deal with WWE, and this signature apparently happened basically moments after her last show at TNA. They said, hey, by the way, sign this contract. And that is a great move by WWE. I can see some great things coming from this. Maybe even Jordynne Grace versus Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania. I think that it's going to happen that quickly for her, especially after that fireman carry roll, or whatever that move is officially called. After her doing that, fantastic. Chef's kiss. Love it. Moving on, Triple H was announced as the headliner for the WWE Hall of Fame. This is coming from PW Insider. Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, and Stephanie surprised him on stage during one of the Royal Rumble hype pre-show kind of things. Definitely, the music hit. He didn't know it was happening. Fantastic moment for Triple H. He will now be a two-time inducted Hall of Famer. Love to see it. Great stuff. We also have something more serious to report. Vince McMahon allegations. There are new things in the affidavit. It extends it from 67 pages to 101 pages. This is coming from... Where did this come from? This is coming from Brandon Thurston at postwrestling.com. Again, all of these will be in the comments below. Check them out. But there are a couple new things. I can't go through all of it because obviously that's over 30 extra pages. But let's go ahead and talk about some of the highlights. We're gonna go fly through them. Some of this new material includes that she was instructed to make custom sexualized content for the producer, for then producer Michael Hayes and his crew. She took screenshots of text as proof of this. There was an addition of Grant being recorded in presumably a FaceTime call or something of the nature with John Laurinaitis, to which John returned a sexually graphic video to McMahon that he shared with Janel Grant. It is alleged that McMahon asked her to show off for construction workers in a sexual kind of way. There was a revealing of previously unnamed people. One of them was the celebrity doctor, Dr. Carlin Calker with Peak Wellness, apparently is one of the doctors involved in this, that gave her a mysterious medication that she didn't know about. Stephanie McMahon, Nick Khan, Brad Blum, and Brian Nurse are all mentioned as well, and they are now not under pseudonyms. They are not people that abused her, but there are people who allegedly enabled Mr. McMahon to do so, and maybe not condoned, but definitely, again, allowed it to happen, and allegedly they knew about it. Brock Lesnar officially was named as the person that McMahon tried to arrange sexual encounters with her in return for Brock Lesnar signing a contract. She never had these sexual encounters due to COVID-19 kind of issues and things of that nature, but it is presumed and alleged that I would guess that he was the one that she was sending sexual videos to as well. There are more details on an incident where Mr. McMahon forced her to have sex in his office and gave her an ultimatum of, you can do this in the office or in the car, to which she agreed to sex in his office. He later allegedly went on to send her voicemails and texts talking about the encounter, stating that it was the best thing that had ever happened in the office and he can hardly think about anything else but yesterday, accompanied by pictures, allegedly, and I have not seen this myself, but apparently all of these texts and these pictures are in the affidavit. Rich Herring is also named, although not accused of any abuse. He was the Warrior Award winner of 2021. There's a new part that alleges that during the filming of the McMahon documentary that came out on Netflix, he was viewing Grant nude at the time, and she compares this with timestamps of text messages of a conference room that McMahon was sitting in while he was sending pics from that room. I know that sounds confusing. That's basically the way it was written. It was confusing to me too, but it just sounds as if he was being recorded by the documentary crew and he was sending her pictures of the room that he was in, probably talking, bragging, maybe, I don't know. Again, all of this is alleged. Grant says that she signed the NDA under duress and pressure from Mr. McMahon, and that Mr. McMahon paid her lawyers to give her representation. Again, there are texts where McMahon are saying things like, you've got us over a barrel, and he's kind of pressuring her, saying, hey, my lawyer has to get this kind of thing buttoned up, so we need to act quickly to make this kind of work and things of that nature. Judge Sarah F. Russell will soon rule on whether to allow this amendment complaint at some point in the near future. I just want to again state, because we have to state this, all of these things are alleged. This is an active court case. Nothing has been definitively proven yet. Lawyers are still going back and forth. No one has admitted any guilt. As a matter of fact, Vince McMahon is denying all allegations against him currently, as is John Laurinaitis. But John Laurinaitis is saying that he is a victim of Mr. McMahon, and is saying that Mr. McMahon, I would assume, is guilty at least of some of these things, as he's saying that he is, as Laurinaitis is saying that he is a victim. The last piece of news today is about Drew McIntyre, who said he was upset. He went to the back after the Rumble cursing about somebody having to get their moves, and he was upset about one particular wrestler, apparently. Apparently his elimination got botched in some way. I guess he was thrown out early, I guess. I don't know. I'm sure we'll hear about this more in the future. And he left the show before it was over, allegedly. Again, this could be all of a work. WWE is getting very, very good at putting in things as far as social media and things to help stir up fans, help stir up people like me who like to report on things. So everything is real and everything is fake until it isn't, if you know what I mean. Now look, my friends, this is and has been Wrestling Weekly. And if you want good news and if you want good reviews, then you're going to stay up to date with It's All a Work. Yeah, snap into a podcast, like, share, and subscribe. We will see you on Sunday for another episode of Wrestling Weekly. See you soon, guys.